I am Bobby, and I bid you welcome to Dusty Old Movies. One of my favorite YouTubers, Grumpy Andrew's Horror House, has just begun a scene-by-scene analysis of his favorite movie, Jaws. The videos are terrific, and I have the link below. And he has inspired me to do the same thing for my favorite movie, the 1931 version of Dracula. Just like Grumpy Andrew, I'll be using the DVD scene selection, and each video will be an analysis and review of each scene. Throughout this video series, I hope to understand and explain why Dracula is my favorite movie, why it's such a horror classic, and I would like to confront some of its criticism, either by agreeing or disagreeing. So let's begin our spooky journey with Scene 1. Main titles. Mwah! For the opening credits, they use the Swan Theme from the second act of the ballet Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky, so it wasn't created for Dracula. Now in the 1920s, silent movies always had live organists, and according to Gary Rhodes, this was a popular piece that organists would play during mystery scenes, and later on Universal would use it for the opening credits of Murders in the Rue Morgue and The Mummy. So it was a common piece of spooky music. But it is so perfect for Dracula that you would think it was written especially for it. Dracula is a sophisticated villain in a cape and tuxedo who meets two of his victims at a theater. It's a classic horror movie based on a classic book, so it fits this piece of classical music. The sound was recorded on a big record, and the music has that old-fashioned record quality, as if it's playing in an old haunted house. Before they did the restoration for the Blu-ray, there was even a spot where the speed of the record jumped, like na-na-na! But even with cleaned up picture and sound, that haunting quality is still there. The music begins soft and romantic, but with an air of mystery. Da 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 da, which fits the romantic element of Dracula, because remember, the movie was advertised as the strangest passion the world has ever known. Then the music gets louder, da 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 dun, da dun, da dun, evoking the horror and suspense of the story. Then finally, it goes down again and is quiet and eerie, da 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 dun, da dun, da dun, dun, evoking the tone of the film. Then the credits end as the music fades and the story begins. If you close your eyes and listen to that, you absolutely feel the spooky atmosphere of Dracula, and it absolutely sets the mood. Now, I hate to be a bummer, but you have to open your eyes again, because now we're going to talk about how the credits look. Opening credits in that era usually look like a film version of a theater program, so the cast and crew are listed in a very simple manner. But I think it's groovy that these iconic names in horror history, like Count Dracula, Bela Lugosi, Van Helsing, Bram Stoker, are presented as like almost nothing, just another name, because it's before they are icons. The movie is based on both the book Dracula by Bram Stoker and on the very loosely adapted Broadway play by Hamilton Dean and John L. Balderston. They also misspell the word president, which I know may look tacky, but even critically acclaimed movies like Dr. Strangelove are capable of having a typo in the credits. It's also sort of funny, because the president of Universal, Carl Laemmle, didn't want to make Dracula, because he thought it was too scary. It was his son, Carl Laemmle Jr., who really pushed for it. Although the text is very basic, Max Cohen, who was the manager of the art title department at Universal, and did the art titles for so many big movies in the era, although always uncredited, created this really unique background. Now, turning into a bat is Dracula's most famous power. They even mention it in the trailer.
This is Dracula, the original terrifying story of a maniac and a man who lived after death, lived on human blood, took the form of a vampire bat, and lured innocent girls to a fate truly worse than death.
According to David Scal, in folklore, vampires actually turned into wolves, and the book Dracula is what created the idea of a human vampire turning into a vampire bat. So it absolutely represents Dracula. It's a precursor to the Batman symbol, and I love how it's done in this Art Deco style. For those unfamiliar with Art Deco, it's a stylized, modern-looking art style, emphasizing simple and clean shapes, and was very popular from the 1920s through the 1930s. And it gives this bat a really unique and modern for its time look. And remember, Bram Stoker's idea was for a vampire to come to the modern world. There's also this huge cobweb, which is one of the signatures of Dracula's castle. And you can see it as a metaphor of him spinning his web of terror with his victims caught in it. They even used it that way in some of the posters. It also reminds you of Ranfield, who eats spiders. So even though they're simple, they're still creative and arty, and they put you in that mood for the spooky story yet to come, and they really add to the film. Well, the sun's about to rise, so I hope to see you again next time for Scene 2, A Night of Evil.